IVM.
I tried these new protein bars. They taste amazing. Made with simple, homely ingredients, all mentioned clearly right in front of the pack, not in some corner in some small text. Did you know that there are a lot of brands that don't declare all that goes into their food? They use scientific jargon to throw you off. Whereas the whole truth, India's first and only clean label food brand, uses ingredients only grown on a farm, never in a lab. Check them out at thewholetruthfoods.com and enter the coupon code HABIT for a 20% discount on checkout. Make eating healthy a part of your daily habit. Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with George Bernard Shaw. Did you know that George Bernard Shaw once wrote, "The greatest of evils and the worst of crimes is poverty"? That statement is shocking. And it was written over 100 years ago. And with our modern sensibilities, it's definitely shocking. I might have offended a few of you listening. The statement was shocking also 100 years ago as well. He was the center of a lot of debate and anger because of that statement he made. It is not something that we say in polite society. To put things in perspective, Bernard Shaw was a very respected man, a brilliant mind. He had even won the Nobel Prize for Literature. He was a playwright, and his quotes are absolutely brilliant. My father used to quote him to me all the time as a kid. So then, why would he say something like this? Let's analyze what he meant. But for that, we have to put our objective hat on. We have to see things without prejudice and without our sense of morality. I believe that if you can understand the real meaning behind what Bernard Shaw was saying, your life will never be the same. It will be rich. Very simply, poor people remain poor their entire lives for two fundamental reasons. Remember, this is not a sudden loss of money because of a misfortune. This is being consistently broke. And these two reasons are that they do not earn or receive enough. One. And the second is that they spend too much or more than they have received. It genuinely boils down to these two truths. Let's first understand point one. When someone gives you money, it is always for something that you have done for them, directly or indirectly. Basically, money is an exchange. Now here is the key part. The more value you can give, the more money people are willing to pay. The more value you create, the more people want to give you money. So imagine that. You don't have to chase the money, it comes to you. Think about the richest people in the world. Tell me that they have not added value in your life. It's impossible. Very often, the chronically poor are not adding value to others' lives. They are not doing anything that improves the lives of someone else. Hence, they're not doing anything to contribute to society or the world. They're not giving. Hence, they're not receiving. We all know people who are rude, crude, careless at their jobs. We don't feel like giving them any work. And they will continue to bitch about how their life is evil for making them poor. They're not willing to give, yet they want to receive. And that is almost like stealing. The second category of people spend all that they have or more than they have, hence remain poor. Think about it from the point of view of value. Buying more than you have the ability to pay for is like taking and not giving anything in return. We are taking someone else's offering, something that we value of theirs, but unable to reciprocate for it. If you spend everything that you earn, then it is like you have given exactly the same amount of value as you received. In order for the world to grow, society to grow, or make the world a better place, we need to constantly increase the value available. We have to leave things better than we found them. Hence, being rich is not about earning more money. It is about giving more value. It is about a very tiny mental shift that needs to be made. It's a tweak to our thinking process. And as your habit coach, I want you to never be poor. I want you to learn that this poverty mindset has deep reaching issues. It's more than just about money. It's about being selfish. Can I get more than I give? So your simple habit to living a rich life starts by asking the question, how can I add value here? Imagine if you could add value to almost every interaction you did with a person, in your job, in your relationships. What an amazing world you would be creating. Let me end this podcast with the same controversial line. I hope you can now see it from a different perspective. The greatest evils and the worst of crimes is poverty. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Storytel and The Whole Truth Foods. Thank you for supporting us. So, great week on the network again this week. Definitely do check out the Pragati podcast. Pavan spoke to Krish Ashok. They discussed science, knowledge, and the wonder of Indian home cooking. Staying in the realm of food, on This Round Is On Me, we had AD Singh as a guest. Gauri and AD discussed the 10 years anniversary of The Table and the 20-year anniversary of Olive. So two of Bombay's biggest restaurateurs have a conversation about the restaurant business. All Things Policy celebrated 500 episodes on January 27th. Manoj talks to Aditya and Anirudh about the surprising origins of the podcast, its evolution over the last few years, and its exciting future. This episode also marks their video debut, so definitely do check that out on YouTube. On Storytellers and Storysellers, Vineet talks to Ranjit Pratap Singh. Ranjit is the co-founder and CEO of Pratilipi. Pratilipi is a company that's recently acquired IVM, and Ranjit on this episode discusses his plans to build a homegrown media empire, his love for comics, and how India can have its own comic cinematic universe. And finally, Cyrus had an exciting week. We had some amazing guests this week. We had Vishal Gondal come and talk about Fauji. We had Atish Tathir talk about the various issues that he had been facing with his OCI card and other things like that. We had Adam Dow talk about things going on in the US and the evolution of what's happening there. We had Siddharth Kannan come and talk about his history with Cyrus and his new show. So definitely do come check that out as well. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Whether you're an established sports person or a budding one, or simply a sports enthusiast, join us, Tanvi and Shlok.
We are two passionate pro badminton players talking policy, mindset and everything sport.
So tune in to The Millennial Athlete every Monday.
Only on the IVM Podcast Network.
Trust us, it's gonna be lit.